What's up guys, this is Sean and welcome to another episode of the iherng podcast, and today we will answer a question from email. This is from Mr. Lee. Hi Sean, Happy Chinese New Year. I am Lee, 30 years old, currently working as a doctor in Selangor. I have recently bought a sub-sale 2-story freehold property, 22 by 75 at 780,000 at Bandar Sri Damansara, KL. I have paid the 10% down payment and planning to give another 10% with the 80% bank loan at 2.9% interest. I will be paying the 10% this month. My parents actually gave me 100,000 for the house, and I am grateful for that and planning to repay them in the future. My girlfriend of nearly 2 years is from Telok Intan, 27 years old, currently working as a pharmacist in Ipoh. Initially, our plan was to buy a property together when we were married. But the bank loan interest rate is very low now, so I started surveying and found this house in November, and the owner, who was a widow, decided to sell the house from an 800,000 discount until 780, so I decided to buy the house. But my girlfriend said our plans have deviated and she wished that our first property to have both our names after we get married, maybe in 2 to 3 years time. So question 1, what is my opinion on this? Question 2, is it calculated as the first 2 properties of 90% loan set by the government, or I can have another 2 properties of 90% loan? Thank you very much. My girlfriend also mentioned that she is willing to pay half the loan after we marry. And how does that work? And I am scared. Touch wood. What if we got separated in the future? How does it apply? And I have heard a lot of news about divorce. Thank you again. So thank you very much, Lee. 恭喜发财. And just to sum up the question again, so this is a doctor, 30 years old, now trying to get a sub-sale house that was negotiated from an 800,000 price into a 780,000 price landed terrace house in Sri Damansara. Then this did not go in accordance to the plans with his fiance or with his girlfriend, because they thought that after they get married, only they buy the first house together. So before I jump into the answer, there's this thing that I really want to point out, right, which is the parents gave Lee 100,000 to buy properties. And I've always mentioned this in the channel that a lot of my generation right now, we are so lucky, so fortunate, right, to be living in surplus. That our parents' generation, when they came to the working force, I call them the negatives, because before they even start working, they need to pay back. They need to always send money back to their parents or to feed their other siblings who are younger, pay for their education fees and things like that. Hence, the responsibility and burden on their shoulders is way worse than what we have today. And now, if we were to buy a house, we can always hit our parents up and say, hey, I'm planning to buy a house. I'm a little bit short, right? Could you help us out? And I'm totally fine with it, provided it's within their affordability. Because that will indirectly put the children into a better position to succeed. Imagine you need to save up that 100,000, right? He needs to work another maybe 3 to 5 years just to save up that 100,000 if lucky, provided the property price did not increase as well. So it's almost impossible to chase that property price. Hence, parents nowadays, me being a new parent myself, that unconditional love, right, sometimes is non-logical one. So I must say congratulations, Lee, your parents rock. Anyway, coming back to the answer, to me, I would say it's not even a concern. Like now, when you mention interest rate is only 2.9, it's the time to buy and you found this particular property, I would suggest to just go ahead, provided you know what you're doing, right? This is for own stay or is it for investment? Because Bandar Sri Damansara has always been that very popular choice for families to set up, because it's located within a very well-built environment. And now with the new Bestari International School, with the entire Artivo master plan going on right now, then there might be a new LRT station at Atrium, right, next to McDonald's. Those are a lot of great elements that will add up to the property. Just that you bear in mind what is the intention of buying, because every month now you need to pay around a 3,000, 2,000-ish installment every month, and the rental there around 1,008 max. So you need to make that choice based on the knowledge that you will need to cough out certain amount of money every month, even when the property is rented out. So just to be clear on that, then maybe when you two get married, that might be your future home, because you buy now, might as well, right? Compared to 5 years later, you might not even have the chance to buy this. Then the communication with your girlfriend in buying the first house together, then they want to share. I don't understand why must both of you share the property together. Let's say both of you really get married, right? Immediately you have a property that you can actually move into. But if that's not good enough, right, you two join name buy another one. And the 90% quota, for those who are not aware, right, this is a cooling measure implemented by Bank Negara to control buyings of residential properties. So every individual has only 2 quotas of 90% loan whenever they were to buy a residential property. It means when I buy my first property, I can get 90% loan. If I were to buy my second property, I can also apply maximum up to 90% loan. But there are certain scenarios where your income is not enough, or they think that you are a very high risk profile. They might not approve the highest amount of margin. Then if your records are really super good, right, your third residential property, you can no longer get up to 90% loan. But I think at max it's like 75%, 70%. So there's 2 ways to look at it, right? So now you buy your first one, right? Then when your girlfriend becomes your wife, you will just use her name maybe, then you buy one together, or you join name together, right? Then you still have one more quota in the future. And don't be so afraid of utilizing up your quota. A lot of people are like, oh, later I waste my quota. There's always options and strategies to adjust later, because just to make sure that I want to save my quota for the right property, right? These are not bullets, because you can always renew or sell and use again, or to adapt another family member's name or whoever. There's a lot of ways to go around it. So don't get too concerned about wasted quota. So in conclusion, my take is I would buy the property, right? Knowing that the amount I need to pay every month is within my affordability. Then I will start looking for the next property already, along with my girlfriend. So you can tell her that this is in case we need a future home, as we suddenly really make the decision on tying the knot, right? Immediately there's a property that we can call home. Then we can join name to buy a property for investment purposes, maybe a condo or whatsoever. So you get her into the decision making process, the house tour process and things like that. And I bet that will be a very, very good experience to really test the relationship as well. Better understanding about each other in terms of financial perspective and risk appetite. Because I think your concern is also valid. The fear of buying properties when I can afford versus to wait. Also, something to point out is when both of you are government servants, right? Professional as well. The security is on your side. Your income is almost for sure. Hence, I think you should leverage on that. So the next joint purchase together, right, shouldn't be any problem one lah. Not to worry. And I guess that's all. I wish you all the best in tying up the knot as soon as possible, right? Maybe you just hit me up, inform me whenever you guys get married, right? And I think that's all for this episode. Again, your parents rock, and I just admire that generation, because it's so difficult at that era without internet. It's so difficult to be in a negative state every month. The pressure and burden on them are just insane, yet they can still contribute so much to the family, to their parents, and then to our generation as well. So this might branch out a little bit, right? I've been thinking about this a lot when wealth actually transforms the entire family. Your case, for example, right? So now you're a professional, your future wife is also a professional, stability is at its best. So the only thing, you might not have enough capital, and you have awesome parents for that. Hence, you will be in a position to win automatically by default. And guess what's this gonna happen? Your future offsprings as well, your children will also enjoy the benefit of that. Because let's say you start with one property, right? Then your children, once they are born, they start with 2 properties under their father's name already. And the value of investment, the concept of investment, properties, assets, how to make money work for you, conversations like this will then happen in the dinner table very often, allowing the young children to have the right mindset at a very, very young age. Therefore, I really think all of us should strive to be that generation, that first generation, if we are not as lucky, because these will really transcend the entire future of your family tree. And I just had this thought when I was looking at my son this morning. So it's going to be super exciting grooming him to be the next level investor, I hope. I guess that's all for this episode. Thank you very much for the email, and for those who still have any questions regarding real estate, do just email me at taniherng@gmail.com, or you can just DM me iherng on Instagram. I will see you on the next one. Ciao.